Have you ever felt like you were invisible, like you're there, but no one really sees you? I'm Daniel. For years, I was the shadow in my own family. The one everyone noticed only when it was convenient, the one they forgot the moment it got hard. I grew up in a small town in North Carolina. My dad was a pastor. My mom was the perfect wife, the perfect mother, or so it looked on Sundays. But behind closed doors, everything was quiet. Too quiet. You see, in my family, emotions were a weakness. Talking about feelings was taboo. Questions were seen as rebellion. Love came with strings attached. I was the eldest of two sisters who fit in perfectly. They smiled when it mattered. They obeyed. They were loved openly. Me, I was the different one. The one who didn't cry at funerals. The one who preferred books over sports. The one who didn't fit the mold. At 12 years old, I remember standing outside the church, hearing my dad talk about what a real man was. A man who didn't cry, who led without question. I was crying on the inside. I learned early to hide. To make myself small. To disappear into the wallpaper. I wrote secret letters to a future self, a self who was free. A self who could breathe without fear. In high school, I tried to fit in. I dated girls because that's what was expected. But every kiss was a lie. Every smile felt like a mask slipping off. I buried who I was deep down. Too scared to admit even to myself. By the time I was 18, I left home for college. Boston was loud, alive, and a breath of fresh air. For the first time, no one expected me to be anyone but me. I studied literature. I read poems in coffee shops. I found a queer book club. People who didn't look through me. And that's where I met Levi. He worked at the library. We reached for the same book, the bell jar. He smiled. I smiled back. We talked for hours that day. About poetry, about freedom, about fear. It was the first time I felt seen. Months later, after a few dates, I told him. I told him I was scared. I told him about my family. About hiding for so long. He said, "Whatever happens, I'm here." And for the first time, I let myself be real. But coming out to Levi was just the beginning. Coming out to my family was a mountain I wasn't ready to climb. When I told my parents, my dad quoted a Bible verse and said, "We love you, but we can't support this." My mom cried silently. My sisters, they stopped calling. I was invited to family gatherings. But Levi was not. One Easter, I drove 12 hours alone. I went without Levi, because he wasn't welcome. I walked into the same living room filled with faces, and then I saw it. A wall full of framed photos. Weddings. Babies. Family vacations. Everyone was there, except me. Not a single picture since I was a child. I asked my mom, "Where are the photos of me?" She said, without looking, "I thought it was simpler this way." I stood there, invisible among my own family. That night, I called Levi and whispered, "I'm done pretending." He told me, "Then come home. Let's build something real." I left the next morning. I sent my family a letter. I told them how much it hurt to be erased. How I was tired of hiding. Weeks went by. My mom never replied. My sisters stayed silent. But one day, I got a letter from my dad. He said, "I don't know how to fix this. But I'm listening." Dash dash. We talked slowly after that. Not about religion or politics. But memories. The time I broke my arm. The day I painted my first picture. He said, "I'm sorry I made you feel invisible." Dash dash. I never went back to that house. But that photo. A picture of me holding my painting, sent from my dad, is on our living room wall. Next to a photo of Levi and me, laughing on the beach. Dash dash. Some families break and heal. Some just break.